Hey, Mark here, and I have a really cool announcement. I have 5 digital copies of the 2024 film Sweet Dreams up for grabs, and if you'd like a digital copy of the Johnny Knoxville film, please shoot me a message. Be like, hey, Mark, I would like to enter for a chance to win a digital copy of the movie Sweet Dreams, starring Johnny Knoxville, and it's really good. It's a good underdog sports film, probably Knoxville's best performance. I'm a big fan of his, so I totally recommend you shoot me a message and be like, hey, Mark, I would like to enter for a chance to win. So yeah, Johnny Knoxville knocks it out of the park in his new movie Sweet Dreams. Now available to buy on digital, a misfit softball team of recovering addicts swim for the fences and prove that everyone can hit a home run in this wild journey of second chances. Grab Sweet Dreams now from Fandango at Home, rated R from Paramount Pictures. Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who always drinks 2 cups of unsweetened cinnamon light soy lattes while working on his decoupage. It's Erik Hoffmeyer.
I take this seriously, man. You got to be hyper focused when you're doing these paper cutouts and gluing them and applying a varnish. It takes extreme attention to detail, and you have to get over caffeinated. I do the 2 coffees too, because one just doesn't cut it.
Now, Erik, if you had a decoupage a gift for the MFF podcast, what would it look like? Like what would you load it up with? Hearts like Ryan Reynolds? Like what would you?
It would be in the shape of a DVD because I know you like physical media.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
would probably do like Star Wars characters.
Yep.
But the great thing about decoupage is you can decoupage pretty much anything around the home. I mean, we could do your DVD.
Wait, you could decoupage one of my DVDs.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so beautiful that it appears to be professionally painted too. So we could even do your movie rack. That's what we'll do. We'll do your DVD movie rack.
Just decoupage it. That'd be amazing.
I had
I'm
no
down.
idea. I had no idea what decoupage was until I watched that really embarrassing scene on the proposal where she was making up a story about how he proposed. She threw in some decoupage. But I was Googling it, and then I Googled décolletage, which is different. That's like having a low cut neckline when women wear dresses. So I'm like, what? I don't understand. But it's decoupage is the actual paper crafts.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But if you were going to think of the most embarrassing possible story to tell about a man proposing, it'd probably be decoupage.
Man, you know, Anne Fletcher, the director of this, she was just having a good time when she was just having a good time listening to that scene.
Oh, they had so much fun.
Anne Fletcher was a pro when she directed this. She had Step Up and she had 27 dresses under her belt. And she was a choreographer. That's why she does a lot of the dancing like stuff in Step Up. But yeah, she was like 27 dresses was huge. Remember Katherine Heigl's run in the 2000s? Like from Knocked Up, that The Ugly Truth made over $200 million. Like she was probably like one of the bigger stars on the planet for a few years. She had a good run, 3-film run. And then she jumped. Oh, so Erik, The Proposal. We're talking about this. We've also in the past we've talked about other rom-coms. Like I've really like My Best Friend's Wedding, and I'm really happy we're talking about this because we've covered Julia Roberts. Now we're on to Sandra Bullock. But you know what's crazy? When not like adjusting for inflation, The Proposal is the 10th. It's ranked number 10 in all-time worldwide box office for any rom-com. It made
And it was only 40 million to make too.
40 million to make and $314,709,717. This movie pulled in.
You know what's most impressive to me is just last month it hit the Netflix worldwide top 10 list for streaming.
I mean, listen, this is a comfort food movie. It really is. You and I were talking about it earlier, and I like a lot of rom-coms, like sometimes it's a collection of scenes, but like they're all this movie feels very familiar, right? Like there's traveling,
Completely
there's
familiar.
breakups, there's lies. They all have backstories. You know, she's an orphan and her tattoo was from this, and his dad doesn't like. They all have backstories. There's all families. There's always a lie. There's always the truth. There's always an airplane, and but you know what though? Like it leans so hard into the tropes that like that's why it made 300 million. You have Sandra Bullock, who is rom-com royalty. I think she's second probably only to Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts is like the goat of rom-coms. And then you have Ryan Reynolds, who, you know, hilarious, the two of them
Yeah.
together. And like like I think this movie had one of the best trailers, because she's like, we're getting engaged, and the look on his face, he's like, yeah, we're what?
It had
Like,
a good poster too. The
yeah,
poster told the story with her and the business attire and the leg up. It was
yep,
very well done.
good
And it's so
poster.
it's so overdone, but it's almost a carbon copy of While You Were Sleeping in many ways that she already did. But it was so cheerfully done, you didn't mind it. It's just that's what I liked about it, is that element of fun in this movie. I tried to watch some other Sandra Bullock movies preparing for this episode. Like I watched While You Were Sleeping, Two If by Sea, and the one with Ben Affleck. What was that one?
Oh, Forces of Nature.
Forces of Nature. And they just weren't as fun. Like While You're Sleeping felt like a drama.
Oh man, that's a
And
gnarly one.
Ben Affleck was kind of comatose in Forces of Nature. There wasn't that excitement and that fun. So that's what the proposal got right. And what I loved about it is they revisited the same formula when they did The Lost City with Channing Tatum too, which was also a really fun flick as well.
Oh yeah, she's, you know, I'm sorry, Sandra Bullock has had like $100 million movies in what, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Like she just keeps like making bank in cinema, and it makes me so happy. But yeah, this, like, remember like the nude scene when they were walking into each other?
You know, it took 3 days to film that.
Yeah, because they had to rehearse it, right?
Yeah, over and over and over again. There was a closed set, and they had some stickies too for some privacy, but that was a hard scene because they built up a lot of suspense with that. Like they didn't just run into each other. There's a thing with their dog in the bathroom, and Ryan Reynolds was chopping wood, and he comes in and he gets undressed, and it was really a few minutes leading up to that scene, and they nailed it. The way he fell on the ground and the awkwardness. It's one of the most memorable moments.
They didn't have much time to shoot this at all. Like they sometimes had to shoot 3 scenes in one day. Like they shot the scene at the church, and then they shot the scene at I think at the grocery store when they go to get the new phone. Like they shot that in one day. Like, because $40 million, and they shot in New York and Boston. Like that doesn't go very far. So I think they didn't have much time to do this. And I don't know.
Yeah, where did they shoot it? Was it at the outskirts of Massachusetts too? When
Yeah, yeah,
like
like
some of those old
outskirts,
cities,
and like a lot of VFX to make it look like Sitka.
the mountains in the background.
Yeah, and I never noticed that before. Like it's good VFX to anchor this. But it's just this movie, man, like I admire it. I really do, because they weren't trying to like reinvent the wheel. They weren't trying to,
Just be funny.
yeah, like just be funny. And like there's some lies going on. Like they're both kind of likable. And then like everything is like very contrived. But when you watch rom-coms, that's what it is. Like it's here, let me read you some stats. I broke down the stats of 70 rom-coms, and I just want to read these to you. 81% of rom-coms feature a big lie. Like not a minor lie.
80%?
Yeah, 81%. Like a major lie. So not minor lies, like, yes, that sandwich was good, but it's terrible, like big lies.
Well, it gives you a lot to work with the lies too. It builds up the suspense and pressure, and little lies lead to big lies. And I can see why they do that.
And then like 93% of them feature sex, 64% feature nudity. There's a breakup, or they split up for a bit, and 89% of them. So like in this one, when they split up for a while, that happens in 89% of all of these movies. And then 90% of them end with them in a relationship. There's 82% of the movies feature a character singing or dancing. That happens here. 53 of the movies took place in California or New York. So this one started in New York. And then I had 24 of the characters are writers or work for a publisher. And then the rest are like, yeah. And then
he was a writer in this one.
And then characters break up or
editor.
lose contact. 64%, like they lose contact for a long time. And then they're like movies where characters have to find their love interest by running, driving, or sprinting somewhere. That happens 58% of the time.
Oh, when he came back to New York
Yeah,
at the end.
This one hits all of the tropes, Erik, like all of them. But you know what? It there's no reason for it not to. Like it's like, yes, we are a rom-com, and we are gonna hit the notes We have Sandra Bullock, who's box office gold. We have Reynolds, who's hilarious. We have a stacked supporting bench, and we're just gonna have a good time, a good, comfortable, fun time. And it pulled in 300 mil.
Well, what about this? Do you think it's actually a rom-com or do you think it's a comedy with a sprinkle of romance?
I think it's a rom com because it's so obvious, like what's gonna happen. Like I think, like you just know they remember like they spend the night and they sing together. And he's like, "You really are beautiful," and then they,
That was nice though.
yeah, it was a good bit. And he's like, "You're beautiful," and then she opens up to him, and then I mean, listen, if it's a rom com when the family's like, "You got to get after her," and the grandma fakes a heart attack, and then like
A kooky Betty White's a good Betty White though. She
yeah.
was cute.
And like I think it has to be like it features all the tropes of a rom-com. So yeah, I think it's definitely a rom-com, but I think it's more of like a comfy sweater rom-com and not like a Forgetting Sarah Marshall rom-com.
You can watch this way more often than Forgetting Sarah
Yeah.
Marshall. Even though Forgetting Sarah Marshall is one of my favorite, this one, the familiarity of it and the
Oh,
warmth and the fun, you could watch this thing over and over again.
like and like there's some rom-coms out there nowadays, man, that are really cringe. There's this one on Netflix. I forget what it's about, but it's about this group of people who work together and they lie to people to get laid. So they're basically a group of just psychopaths, and you're supposed to like them. And then like there's just some that are so cringe. Like they've become less about like having funny moments and more just about like, holy crap, this lie is going deep. And you just don't enjoy, like they may be fun, but you don't want to watch them a lot. The Proposal, there's a lie to it, but it's still like a nice cup of
Yeah,
cocoa.
I think it's still getting big views on Netflix because it's so superior to the current rom-coms that are coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't big stars do rom-coms anymore? Why do you think that? We don't see, I mean, I think Clooney and Roberts did one a couple years ago, but I can't really remember other ones recently where they had big names.
Yeah, I mean, like J-Lo just did one, but it was more of like an action rom-com, Shotgun Wedding. There's a lot, but see, the thing is, then
Oh, you're
it's
right. There's a new breed coming out with the action rom-com.
yeah, like Lost City and that, like,
It's a good point.
but like also Anyone But You just hit, and that movie made 216 million, and it's basically The Proposal. Again, there's buoys and there's lies and there's weddings and like it's just
The
like
enemies that
like
end up loving each other.
yeah, like Sydney Sweeney was like, I just love the rom-coms of the 2000s, and we made one. And so she leaned into every single trope imaginable, and that movie made 200 million. So
They
I'm
also
telling,
promoted the hell out of that movie. They did a good job
and
on
like
that.
their two stars are pretty much like white hot right now. Like Sweeney's everywhere. Glenn Powell is like a beast. He's slowly building up his name.
I feel like
And
we've liked Glenn Powell longer than anyone.
yes, we
I
have.
feel we I feel ownership.
Yes, I do. I feel ownership over Glenn Powell. But yeah, man, but like, there's a thing though. Like so these are the 10 highest grossing rom-coms without inflation, unadjusted. It's Myron You or The Mermaid, which is a
What?
bonkers. So it's a bonkers movie about like a mermaid wants to kill a developer because he's using sonar to kill mermaids. And then but
What?
it's just
Is this
it's
a
a
foreign
comedy. It's
movie?
by Stephen Chow. It's by the guy, he directed Kung Fu Hustle, and it's
Okay.
just a slapstick rom-com that's actually really funny. So that's number one. That made 525 million. Uh,
Overseas?
yeah, like domestically it made 3.2. Worldwide it made 525 million. Number two is Pretty Woman, which like man, that one's Julia Roberts. Like you watch that and she is on fire. Like she got an Oscar nomination for that. Like that's like a rarefied air. Number three is My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which
It's classic. It
everyone
is.
loved. That's like a comfort food movie. Number four is What Women Want. That's 374 million.
Who was in that one again?
Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt.
Ah, okay. They were huge at that time
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah, it's gigantic. And then there's Something About Mary, which was 369 million. Then we got like Hitch, which made
It's
366
good.
million.
Good. That
Notting
was a good
Hill,
one.
363 million. Enchanted, 340 million. And then there's The Proposal at 314. And As Good as It Gets made 314, and Runaway Bride made 310.
As good as was that Helen Hunt and
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson?
But you know what's interesting? Of all these movies, the only one to feature an actress who was older than the actor is The Proposal. All the other movies, the men, like, Gear is like 15 years on Roberts. Like Ben Stiller's older than Cameron Diaz. Hugh Grant's older than Julia Roberts, but this is the only one where the female lead is older than the male lead.
I like how they didn't even. Betty White made one pointed remark when she first met her. Like she said, I think it'd be inappropriate to call you a girl.
Yes.
It's like Betty White throwing heat, but they didn't address the age gap. It was 12 to 13 years there. I mean, that's a sizable chunk of time. So I like how they didn't address it because, I mean, Bullock is just so drop dead gorgeous too,
Mm-hmm.
so you didn't really need to address it. But also, I also like how they didn't play up the age thing. They didn't play up the Canadian thing. I didn't hear one sorry or anything, and I
Yeah.
really appreciate that they didn't lean in any stereotypes. I did like that. It was just play it straight. And also, I mean, Bullock, she did not overact in this movie at all. I didn't. I thought she was very controlled and she was almost believable and likable. She didn't go too hard into the character. What do you think about that?
No, you're absolutely. So the director during it, they said that she can be realistic, but also over the top at the same time. And I completely agree with that. Never once did you like listen, without Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, this movie falls on its face, right?
You're right.
Like let's say during this time it was 2009 and they cast like Jason Biggs and and Jason Biggs and
Steve Zahn.
yeah, so yeah, Steve Zahn and who could be it? Steve Zahn and even just Meg Ryan, who's incredible. Like that just wouldn't work, right?
Mhm.
Like you need these two, and like
They came with chemistry.
yeah, absolutely. Like and when Sandra Bullock's lifting her suitcase, she's not being over the top either. Like she's not being like you generally feel for her. Like she's in terrible shoes,
Fish out
this
of
black
water in
dress, yeah.
Alaska.
And that scene with the suitcase, that was an accident, but Mary Steenburgen was like such a pro that she just went with it. And then everyone kept going with it.
Oh, when it fell in the
Yeah,
water,
that
he
wasn't
chucked
supposed to
their
happen.
suitcase in the
But like Mary
water.
Steenburgen just played it. She's like, I got this. And what's crazy? The commentary is just the director going like, I have Malin Ackerman, I have Craig T. Nelson, I have Mary Steenburgen, I have Betty White, I have Oscar Nunez, I have Dennis O'Hare, I have Michael Nouri, like I have Asif Manvi, like I have the craziest bench of actors who are playing it completely straight in this movie. And so like I'm telling you, it had an embarrassment of riches. And without Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, this doesn't work. Because like Ryan Reynolds, when he's reacting to like, hey, we're getting married, he's like, what? Yeah. Uh, what? And then like the trailer moment when he got all ripped, like that brought in probably 20 mil. But I'm just like, yeah, it was carried by them. But I think the director realized that and she just let them have their hot hand, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. She just trusted in it. She trusted in the rom-com formula. You have two actors throwing heaters and you make 300 mil.
Yeah, I agree. But Bullock was so good.
So,
Do you, I mean, yeah, you had
I
it.
don't think she's that bad in the beginning.
No. Oh yeah, you're right. She's not like a Devil Wears Prada. She's not a
No.
horrible boss. I'm like, she's just a businesswoman. Why is everyone calling her like a witch and snacking on children and Satan's mistress? Actually, that was kind of funny when Betty White was like, "Do you prefer, your name or do you prefer Satan's mistress?"
Yeah, that was
That
funny.
was funny.
Like,
There's two parts where Bullock just crushed it. Like I've never seen like an actor in a rom com be this good. When she totally caves and lets her guard down when she's trying on Betty White's wedding dress, you can just see the hard exterior just crumble.
mm-hmm.
But my other favorite was when she first hatched the idea about marrying Ryan Reynolds. She kind of you could see the wheels turning in her head as she was formulating. So she's acting and effectively showing the audience like the realization of the idea and then the formulating of the plan. It was so good.
It's funny you say wheels turning because I feel like her wheels are turning, and then when Reynolds learns about it, his wheels are turning.
Yeah.
It's like they alternate.
What's happening?
Yeah, they alternate turning of wheels between them. And like, but here's the thing though. She walks in, she fires that guy who's lazy, entitled, incompetent, and he cheats on his wife, right? So like
Mhm.
the guy sucks. What does so like there's scenes in this movie, right? Where you're supposed to think that she's horrible, but like remember when she's like, yeah, you want to quit? And he's like, yeah, every day. Like they have a relationship. Like she's a pain, and like the coffee thing, like if I would have if I wanted your approval, I would ask for it, whatever. But I mean, she's just not that bad. Like Ryan Reynolds, like she lets Ryan Reynolds kind of talk some smack. right? Like when she
And he
says,
he bites back. He barks
yeah,
back more and more into the movie once he gets more leverage over the situation.
but like in the beginning though, when he just what does he say? He like something about quitting and
Every day.
yeah.
Did they ask you to quit? Every day.
Like he tells her the truth, right? And so if he was afraid of her, he wouldn't tell the truth. But I feel like he tells her the truth.
Yeah,
Uh,
and she got a lot of bad rap for blackmailing him into the situation. I don't think it's blackmail, but he also blackmailed her right back.
yeah, but I mean,
Like he demanded to be editor, and he used that to his advantage as well.
and like, listen, he wasn't wrong. She's not wrong though. When she's like, "You need to get with me," or it's not really blackmail because she's like, "Bob will fire you. He doesn't like you. So if
It's
don't
real.
do if you don't do this for me, Bob will fire you. And you've hitched your wagon to me. I'll be gone for a year. What are you gonna do?" And so it's blackmail,
Yeah.
but it's also a very practical blackmail.
Dude, you change the leader at the top, you're vulnerable. If they're,
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's how corporate America is. Like, if you bring in a new executive and you were brought in by the previous executive, they're probably going to bring in their own person with them. I mean, it's how business works at that level.
And so she's like, yeah, look, you've hitched your wagon to me the last 3 years. It's like that on film sets, man. You got to follow those. Once you get with a crew, you got to follow them. Because if not, you're like, wait, I've been working with these people for 3 years. Like, where do I go? It's like, yeah, his wagon's hitched to her, and he will get fired. And then, of course, then you know what? I think it makes it. You're right though. And then he blackmails her back. And then he makes her propose on her knees, and he walks away. But
That
he
was a funny
enjoys that.
scene. He
Yeah,
didn't help her up either.
that was a good bit.
That's
But yeah,
just flirting with them though. That kind of humor.
yeah, and like, but the way Bob Bullock plays it is just perfect. And I don't know, I just think that I don't think she's that bad. Like I know Sandra Bullock wanted to play bad, but a lot of the like, sure, she's snippy, but like he's snippy with her though. Like remember when she makes that comment, like if I wanted your approval, and he's like, yeah, I want to quit every day. Like they seem to have that relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you don't make it to be a top editor in New York City without being tough or assertive or
Yeah.
speaking your mind. It doesn't happen.
And like they spend all their time together, and he does like what midnight Tampex runs for her. Like, but like
That
they
was ad libbed. She came up with that on the spot in one of the interviews, which I thought was brilliant.
and like, but like they spend a lot of time together. They're back and forth. So I don't know. I guess I just never saw her as being bad. I don't know. Like I just
I didn't
just
either.
like so all this stuff about her being terrible. I'm like, these guys suck. Like I would fire all those people in that office, Eric, because I don't think they work.
Yo, that was a lot of extras.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably 40 people in there.
Yeah. And none of them are working. They only work when she walks through the aisle.
Yeah, that's right. They all start, oh, let me do this. And it's funny seeing all those chats pop up.
It's
Like the boop, boop, boop.
but yeah, it's so rom-com. These people only exist in rom-com land. So, I've been watching a lot of rom-coms lately. And for me, I've kind of learned to accept these people on a rom-com level. Like people are like, "Oh, they're sociopaths or they're psychopaths." I'm like, "No, they're pretty normal
I'm
for
sorry, what kind
rom-com."
of people? You mean the leading characters?
Yeah, so like let's say you watch any of these movies, right? Where you like any rom-com. Like I just immediately put them in a rom-com world, like About Time or Amelie or Boomerang or Bridget Jones' Diary or Bros or Chasing Amy. Like these are like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. These are all people who exist like Gross Point Blank. They all exist in a rom-com world where like they behave, they like statistically they follow all the tropes. They have all like they're tough, but then they have sad backstories. Like you just gotta like you can't just look at them as normal humans. You have to look at them as existing in a world where everyone lies to each other and they all have sad backstories, but then they get together at the end, but they do break up. So it's like you just I don't know, you just got to look at them like that. So I think in the rom-com world, these people are totally fine. Like there's the angry dad, but I feel like most dads in rom-coms are angry.
He was more protective than angry.
Yeah, that's true. Like but you know what though, Eric? Like if you shared war stories about someone for 3 years and then they came back and you were engaged, like your family would be a little,
They would
huh?
question it. It's
Yeah.
really fair to question this 180-degree change of heart.
And so even though that's who he is immediately, you're kind of like, I get it. Like, but also he has such blinders on because he wants his kid to run his town. And his kids out there,
There's no nuance to his character.
none. Like he's not a three. But you know what though? In rom-coms, there's very little room for multiple three-dimensional characters. Like if you
You're
look
right.
at Knocked Up, all the friends one-dimensional. Like you look at most, like Greenberg or Grosse Pointe Blank, Jeremy Piven, one note. Dan Aykroyd, one note.
Well, I think the role of Craig T. Nelson was to strengthen Reynolds' resolve to go through with the marriage.
Because he's such a butt.
Yeah, because they had that adversarial type of relationship. It just made him want to marry her more, I think. So I think that was the role because he needed a kind of a counterweight to push him in that direction.
Yeah. So he just exists to keep the lie going.
Get him to the altar.
Yeah. And then you have the mom who's nice. She's telling the dad to like, get over yourself, Henry. I don't even know if that's his name, but it feels right. So that's what thing though. In rom-coms, you have very little room for three-dimensional, many of them. So it's like, you know what I love too? It's like every character, I feel like in rom-coms, they always have a reason for their arrested development or the reason why they have such high walls around them. And then they always just sort of crumble, which I don't know. I you just got to accept, right? Like you just gotta, okay, I get it. This is why it happens. And like Sandra Bullock had a really tragic backstory.
Well, let's look into this a little deeper, shall
All
we?
right.
I've got a question. We like challenging writing assignments. How would you write this if the roles were reversed? Like how would you write this if Ryan Reynolds is 12 years older and he blackmails a female subordinate into marrying him? But like how would we make this appropriate?
Okay. So
There's got to be like
it's got
a
to be
counter
cast.
blackmail. There's got to be a contract. I don't know. There's got to be some kind of
It's got
I
to
don't
be
know how to do this.
it's got to be casting,
Okay.
right? It's got to be like James Marsden
Someone
as
super vanilla, super nice,
like,
fatherly type.
so when he does that to his younger employee played by Aubrey Plaza, because she's like, you just don't really mess with her, right? She's not gonna get,
So she's got to be in on it.
yeah.
And it's
And
got to be
so
funny. And he's got to be non-threatening. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, like it can't be Alec Baldwin and Emma Watson from Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like it can't be that.
No, you're right.
It can't be like De Niro and Sydney Sweeney.
Oh,
you know,
let's go back to Marsden and Plaza. That's
like,
plausible.
so you have him. He's a good boss. He's gonna get deported back to Canada. So he's like, hey, like we've been working together for 3 years. If I get fired, you got to work for Hank. He'll probably fire you. He's a lot worse. So we got to go pull this off. But she's like
Yeah.
a terrible assistant.
like in the like Parks and Rec.
Yeah, she's just horrible, right? And he's like too nice to like fire her.
Yeah, I think they would need to broach it in the script, or they would need another character just calling them out about how bad it is. Like, do you remember Tropic Thunder? How they had the booty sweat guy,
Yeah.
and how he kept calling out Robert Downey Jr. for the blackface, playing the black. But you needed that in the movie. It's like the movie telling the audience that we know this is wrong and we're calling ourselves out and we're lampooning ourselves. So you'd almost need that other character calling them out and pointing out how ridiculous this is in the movie.
It's like, wait, you married your assistant? It'd be funny if she was a new assistant. like,
But I mean, but that's the thing is men marrying younger assistants is not that uncommon.
yeah, that's true.
It really, I hate to say it, but men, I actually did some research about the psychology behind falling in love with a coworker in the office or falling in love with your boss. And I don't know how scientific this is. Please don't hold me to this, but for my unscientific Google search for like 10 minutes, most of the research articles did say men are more likely to marry a subordinate female in the office.
Jeez Louise.
But the blackmail part is a little weird. So
But what if James Marsden was aware of that?
Mhm.
And this is like a new assistant that he hired. And he's like, you have a lot of promise. Like, but then he's like, hey, we got to get married. She's like, I've been here for 3 months. Like, you're a good boss. But like, no, we got to do this because I'll get deported. and I was going to give you you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think it had
uh,
to be comedy. You had to have other characters calling it out, and I think it had to be like a really safe type
her parents
environment.
would be like, so how long have you been the assistant? Oh, 1 month. You know, like, oh, you're 15 years younger. Yeah. But no, we love each other.
Can you
It's,
imagine that conversation?
yeah. And like, hey, so Hank, you're marrying your assistant. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like, but like, he's a super nice guy and everyone, like, he's like, no, no. I'm like, he doesn't want people to think he's that guy. Does that make sense? But he has to like act like it.
He's
Yeah.
dressing younger,
Yeah.
wearing his
This is what I'm doing,
half-backers.
dad. Like, everyone's like, hey, Hank, like, what are you up to? Who's this? You know, like, oh, like, yeah, play it like that. I don't know. Like, but you would, I don't know. I don't want, Will Smith blackmailing, you know, like Emma Stone into it. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't, like, that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, they got to have that existing chemistry going into it, like they did in the proposal.
Like, I think Will Smith would be funny. He's good in Hitch. That would just be such a, like, hey, you, Emma Stone, you're going to be my fiance because I don't want to get deported. Like, I think it's better with like Marsden is so, like, I love him, but he's just so vanilla.
Yeah, Emma Stone. I mean, she's like top tier actor, right? Like,
I'm like,
she's like the best of the best. You know, she would find a way to pull that off. That
yeah, she can make,
character.
and actually, I mean, I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't want to see like Kevin James and Caitlin
I hear
Dever.
you.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
there's
don't.
got to be an existing
I'm just
connection.
naming people from Hitch now, which is interesting. But yeah, like it's super vanilla.
Yeah, you know what I love most about this movie? I think, aside from the fun, is I thought they did a great job one with music. There's music all over this thing. Every scene had
It
fun,
tells you how to feel.
cheeky. Yeah, it does. But you don't have to think. You just go along for the ride. But also, there's a lot of suspenseful moments. You know me. You know how I love suspenseful scenes when there's not something huge going on. Those little mundane moments of telling a story or this or that, of having the sense of suspense. For example, when they got put on the spot and they had to tell the story about how they met
Oh
and they just
gosh.
dragged it on and on. The scene coming out of the shower, that was like 3 minutes when you look at the time they started building the suspense.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of other, at the beginning when he's just rushing around to get coffee. I mean, that's just him going to work, but still, it sucked me into the movie really well. The scene with Bob, you see the guy Bob was about to blow, and you could feel it coming and feel it coming, and
Don't
then it,
do
then it
it.
happened. Yeah,
Don't do it.
they did such a great job of having suspenseful moments. And I think that's really hard to do. You got to have a director who's really confident and really on his or her game. What do you think about the suspenseful moments in the film?
Well, they weren't like overly contrived. Like, so in Anyone But You, there's a scene where Glenn Powell gets like a bug in his pants and then he gets completely naked.
Yeah,
And
that was
like
weird.
she's
Like he
like
just
looking
threw the
into his
stuff.
butt. And like, there's no reason for that scene to exist.
Well, they ripped it off the Lost City with the leeches
Oh
and Channing
yeah.
Tatum,
And it
which that was funny. That was a funny scene because all the stuff he was saying about the leeches sucking him dry and
well, it makes sense that leeches would be in that river, right? So
yeah.
it's like that one was just meant to be like, oh, hey, we're gonna get this dude naked and we're gonna do like a butt joke. But like these ones are funny because they're adversarial. So she's like, yeah, we're getting married, and then Ryan Reynolds is like, no, I'm getting a promotion. So then he's a butt. And then when they're doing their engagement story, they're one upping each other like a bunch of idiots.
It was
And
great. It was funny.
right, yeah, like that comes in naturally because they're adversarial to begin with. So it's organic that they would like it's already a stressful situation, but they make it worse for themselves because they can't help it. So that's why I think it works organically for the story. Now, the setup is very contrived. It's like we're going to set up a moment purely to cringe, but the payoff works because those two would do that.
Yeah. Anyone but you, they had the falling on the boat, which is also a ripoff of the
Yeah, on
proposal.
the buoy, there's a buoy. But
Yeah, it's the same thing as the
but
proposal,
but
but it
here's
was
the
like, oh, you knew she was gonna fall in when they started doing the Titanic thing. Like you
we
just
just
knew it
we
was
just got to be
happening.
careful with the comparisons because they all rip each other. They
That's
all
true.
feature the same tropes. So it's
Yeah.
like I think Sweet Sweeney was smart because she probably looked at all the major rom coms and was like, "We're just going to do that."
That's true. You can't look at this in a vacuum because they're
Yeah,
all ripping each other off. That's a good point.
but you're right though. Like, but I also think this movie's better than Anyone But You. Even though Anyone But You goes hard on the R and there's like a lot of nudity and the leads are really charming and what Dylan no Dermot Mulroney's funny too with the whole diving in a swimming pool. But
I had a hard time with that movie because they had such cool characters. Um, what's his name? Dermot
yeah,
or
Dermot Mulroney.
Dermot? But who's the guy that was in Cocktail? The Australian
Yeah,
father.
the dad. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they made him look like both kind of dumb. You know,
Yeah.
these guys used to be so cool in their prime, and they make them look like babbling idiots. They kind of is the butt of some of the jokes. So
Yeah, I'm
that's
old.
kind of like respect your elders. I mean, these people were doing the romantic comedies years ago and crushing it, you know, and now they're the butt of the joke. So I'm
They
like, oh, I didn't really like that.
they have a gigantic villa in Australia. They did something
Sweet.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're 100% right there. I think but that's why the proposal made like that's why the proposal's good because like that story when they're one upping each other about the decoupage and all that, like they're just being idiots because they're that's what they do. And so no, I like, but there's always problems on problems. Like he gets in the bed, but he has the morning
Oh,
stuff like, and then the dad comes in, and then like she falls off a buoy when she's sad, and like I think he spills the coffee, then he takes one shirt, and then like it's just it's good at building problems on problems, but I think it's smart the way they're written because they don't feel just shoehorned in,
and it makes you want to yell at the screen too.
but not
Like
in
when
a horrible
she's
way.
no, yeah, you're right. Like you see this happening, like the part where they brought in the muffins and she was being sweet and wanted to feed it to him in the morning, and then he rips the plate away from her. I'm like, dude, she's trying to be sweet. Come
Yeah,
on. Or little things like that where it's just you can see it and you want to yell at them at the screen. And it takes a good movie to do that because I don't yell at the screen for anything or have cringeworthy moments.
so I watched a movie called I Want You Back. Have you seen that one? It's
Isn't that a Backstreet Boy song?
no, it's with Jenny, but it's with Jenny Slate, Charlie Day. Their significant others break up with them, so then they make a plan. They meet randomly, then they start becoming friends, and then they make a plan to break up each other's significant others' relationship. So they go undercover and attempt to like break up their relationships, and like Charlie Day gets stuck in a thing while this couple hooks up. And then Jenny Slate's idea to break up Gina Rodriguez and Manny Jacinto to have a threesome with them. It's like the most uncomfortable scene ever. And it doesn't work like that. But like, it's the most cringe heavy movie. I had to like not look at the screen a few times. And I think the reason the proposal is so popular is you want to yell at the screen, but you're not covering your eyes. And it's just mortification. It's
Yeah,
more fun cringe.
I can't watch the scene with Betty White around the dancing around the campfire
Yeah, there's
because
no
of
point to it.
the ridiculous nature. I see why it's in there because it's Betty White being kooky. I think it's on brand with the movie having these kind of weird collection of scenes and moments where she has to bond with the family somehow. So I can't watch that. I gotta fast forward through that scene.
Yeah, because you know what, you can though, because it doesn't do anything for the movie. So it's
Doesn't. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a pretty rando.
Did you ever read my rom-com poster thing that I did for Rotten Tomatoes back in 2021?
I did, but you're gonna have to remind me on the stats.
So I analyzed rom-com posters, and I just want to like get the rankings out there because there's only 9 types of them. So there's posters with one character standing in front of the other. Those aren't good. Like most of the time those have a 40% average.
Is there one where the one partner is like crossing the arms and looking at the other
Yeah,
one?
it's really, and
Weird.
then there's posters with characters back to back leaning on each other or being picked up. That's 40.1%.
That's like an
Then
Ashton Kutcher poster, right?
yeah, oh, it's bad. And then there's posters with characters not looking directly at each other. So it's like they're just not looking at each other. But both of them are not looking at each other. I'm going to jump ahead, and then I'm going to go to the top 3. So the top 3 are posters with 2 characters sitting. So if there's a rom-com with the characters sitting, that's 62%. And then if you have posters with 2 characters looking at each other, that's 60.3. So you have like Crazy Rich Asians, When Harry Met Sally, Tin Cup. That's huge. But the rom-coms with the highest score, which is a 71.8, is posters with only 1 character on the poster, which makes me laugh. So the best rom-coms only feature 1 person on the poster.
Because they went with the star,
Yeah. Like Cher,
Julia Roberts.
yeah, like what Aubrey Tattoo, or like Julia Roberts or Will Smith as Hitch.
Why did the proposals poster work? Because it tells the story, you think?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like there's good negative space. Ryan Reynolds, like it establishes the power dynamics immediately. So it's
Mm.
like she's the boss, he's backed up, and then they're both kind of looking at the camera like, oh, look what's going. You know what I mean? Like he looks scared, she's smiling. It tells a story, I think, because you're like, oh, she's forcing marriage on this guy. Like the bad rom-com posters tell you nothing about it. Like while you were sleeping, she's just being lifted up in the air in a train station. Um, like Wedding Planner, it's just two like McConaughey behind J-Lo, and you're like, what does this mean?
I'm
It's like
sorry.
the cocktail poster.
While You Were Sleeping is not a rom com. It is
No,
a drama. Like I was watching this, expecting a fun movie. Started to switch subjects on you, but I think that should be eliminated from the rom com.
it
Personally,
just keeps coming up. That's the problem. So
yeah,
it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but it's okay. We'll take that out. But I mean, 2 weeks notice, right? That one has a bad like that's just the two of them on the poster. But I think at least it tells a story. Like the Notting Hill poster tells a great story. It's Hugh Grant walking in front of a huge poster of Julia Roberts on a movie poster. So it's like everyday guy and a movie star. So it's I don't know. I just think like I don't know. So I guess with the rom com posters, one person, it's just like this is a Will Smith movie. This is
yeah.
a Cher movie. You're gonna like it. But I do think the proposal poster is very successful because it actually tells a story. And it's not just two people or like Tom Cruise standing there cocktail when he pours, he rains, which is makes me laugh every time I think about it. But I just want to get that data out of there because Eric, I've been looking up so much rom-com stuff for the
Yeah, you
last
got to
few years.
repackage this. You already put the work in.
Yeah, exactly. I've dropped a lot of rom-com stats on this episode. That's for sure.
So if you were writer, right? Well, you are a writer, but if you're going to write a screenplay, which one would you have more fun with? Would you have more fun with two enemies who fall in love, or would you have more fun with an office romance? Because this one kind of has both themes interwoven, but which one gives you more material to work with? Again, it's enemies that fall in love, or is it office romances and all the sneaking around you have to do and other power dynamics?
All right, so like my favorite rom-coms are probably like Gross Point Blank, where he comes back to town and has to woo Minnie Driver back. Then there's Forgetting Sarah Marshall when he's just a sad sack and he meets like a very convenient, awesome hotel clerk. Amelie, it's very whimsical. She meets a guy. Like My Best Friend's Wedding, it's not even really a rom-com. And then Better Off Dead is just a squirrely John Cusack. So I guess for me, I wouldn't want to do the enemies. I don't know that I like, when Harry Met Sally, they're kind of enemies. They don't like each other, but then they become friends and then they become a couple and they're never they never hate each other, right? They're just kind of annoyed by each
Was
other.
that the one where the small bookstore owner and then the
Oh,
chain of
that's You've
books?
Got Mail. Oh man,
Okay.
I could never do that. Dude,
All right.
When Harry Met Sally is probably the consensus number one rom-com ever made.
Mhm.
It's incredible. Oh, all right, so I have to do
Why
a
was that
work.
one good? Was it the dialogue or was
Oh
it
man,
the
well, yes,
iconic
nominated for an
moments?
Oscar. Nora Ephron wrote it. She worked closely with Rob Reiner, and just it's just these two people. And it's interesting. There's no major lies in it. There's not a ton of nudity or sex. It's just smart people sort of existing. They're not caricatures, right? Like they're not overcoming anything massive. They're very upfront who they are. It's just the two of them. It's interesting too. Like the director and writer don't even think that they should have gotten together, but for box office reasons, they did. And when inflated for inflation, it made 244 million domestically,
Mhm.
so it's huge. But I think it's just two mature people. Also, the camera work is brilliant in it because it creates really interesting space between them, and also the fashion
The
in it.
restaurant scene?
Yeah, and then the fashion in it is gorgeous. Like when Meg Ryan wore those. Yeah, I mean that's like in the AFI 100 funny lines ever. And like everything Meg Ryan wore in that movie, it like sold out when the movie came out. And it's just none of them. There's no major lies. There's like Harry acts like a total butthole at one point, but they get over it. There's good supporting characters. No one ever talks about work in it. It's just like these characters existing, and it's just really good. It's like it's like it's just good. It's really really good. Uh, yeah, I think it's really hard to recreate that, and I think people have tried, but it's really hard to touch. Again, I think between filmmaking, Rob Reiner was on heaters, man. He was doing like Princess Bride, and like
Mhm.
that guy wasn't missing for a long time. So yeah, that's why I think it's probably the best. Well, and also like Meg Ryan is incredible in it, and like Billy Crystal's hilarious.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why I think it's number one. And it's not dirty. Like it's rated R just for like an F bomb in there. But there's like,
Yeah,
anyone
today it
but
would be a PG-13.
it would be. And it's yeah, it's just good. Like I love it.
So speaking of the rom-coms that you'd love, let's do the Desert Island game.
Yeah. Oh, can I make one quick point? Like
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds were like they understood the assignment here. But I do think that Sandra Bullock like was throwing 100-mile fastballs in this movie. Like she was,
What
Reynolds
do you
is
mean?
good.
What do you
Like
mean
she
by
well,
fastballs?
like she's just throwing heaters. Like she brought it. Like this was she understood the assignment, played it perfectly, and just she was just great in this role. And I think the movies that make a lot of money, I mean, look at if you watch Pretty Woman again, like Julia Roberts explodes off the screen. And I think Sandra Bullock does that here too. So a lot of the movies that have grossed a lot of money, you feel that kind of explosion off the screen.
Mhm.
Like, watching
It's
Notting
alive.
Hill, like yeah, when you watch Notting Hill, like Hugh Grant and Julia Roberts are like just you're like it's they're mind-blowingly good. Like Jerry Maguire, Renee Zellweger, and Tom Cruise are just incredible. Bridget
Mhm.
Jones' Diary is like Renee Zellweger and Hugh Grant are incredible in it. So I think, even Hitch was probably Will Smith at his most charming. Um, so I
Yeah,
think,
I like Will Smith as the charming coach, the cool
yeah,
coach to help him, but he's learning a little bit about himself too.
yeah, and it's, but like all these movies that make a ton of bank, it's just like I, I know this is very obvious, but like Sandra Bullock was nominated for a Golden Globe for this. Julia Roberts was nominated for an
Hmm.
Oscar for that. Like Notting Hill, they were nominated for Golden Globes. Jerry Maguire, they were nominated for Oscars. Bridget Jones' Diary nominated for Oscars. So I think it's obvious to say, but I think the best rom coms are the ones where like one of the actors just explodes off the screen, and I think that happens here in The Proposal, which is a credit to the director because she understood she
Yeah,
understood.
it's like it's clean. You understand what you're doing, but it was still a multifaceted role where you have to be tough, funny, and sensitive all at the same time.
And she has an arc and she has a reason why the walls are up, and it's just it's and like they said Ryan Reynolds was great at reacting, so I feel like Sandra Bullock, anything she threw at him, he was great at reacting to it.
It's like they were playing tennis the whole time.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
like they're
better than the
two
2 weeks notice
equally,
tennis.
yeah, they're two equally suited tennis players who can, one wins one point, the other one wins the other, and they make each other better, and it's this back and forth fun game.
And also rom-coms work better. So like I think one major problem of a lot of rom-coms are when the two actors are like really both funny out there crazy people. I think it works better when you have a super serious Richard Gere and a Julia Roberts, when you have a uptight Julia Sandra Bullock and then Ryan Reynolds making jokes. Like you need to have opposites. And I think those are the ones that make good bank. Like they need to be different people. They can't just be jokesters, if that makes sense.
No, I hear you. I hear you. So let's play the Desert Island game. I want
Yeah,
to hear this.
let's do it. I kind of I jumped the shark, not jumped the shark. I jumped ahead and mentioned mine. So I'd love to hear your 5 desert island movies.
Okay. In no particular order, forgetting Sarah Marshall,
Yeah.
just for the pure sake of enjoying the movie, how smart, how funny. Jason Segel just laying it all out there, literally.
You did it twice.
And, yeah. Just everything about it was fun and funny, and you laugh hard, and you love Mila Kunis. I mean, Kunis, she was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of the coolest characters in a rom-com that I've ever seen. Then you had the edge to it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
you had a lot of edge, a lot of humor, and it was a fun story.
and listen, like Paul Rudd is hilarious. Like Russell
You're right.
Brand was never better. Like Russell Brand, he built like 20 years of acting off of one movie.
Mhm.
Like
But you had the
the
side characters were funny too. I
yeah,
mean, you had
Kristen
the
Wiig, and
bartender. I think we talked about my favorite bartender. What's the guy there?
he's great. And like just Jack McBrayer being weird, and
Oh yeah.
uh, and it follows like it's interesting. Like she follows him to New York, and um, yeah, no, I'm with you.
So second one, just for the sake of being fun, is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Man.
It was the fun factor.
Yeah.
It's my favorite McConaughey rom-com by
Are they both
far.
writers in that movie?
He was an advertising executive, which I guess you do a lot of messaging and writing,
Yeah.
and
He
she
was
was
a
a
writer.
writer.
And they both meet each other and they both have plans.
I guess in forgetting Sarah Marshall, he was a music writer, He's actually a composer,
Yeah. Yeah.
writing a different language. But I like that because it was just pure fun. It was just good movie.
Well, it gave them both of them excuses to act like idiots too. Like she's showing up to the house, trying to lay everything out and pretending like she doesn't eat meat. He's taking it all because he said he could do it. So it's just funny. Like it gives them both excuse to be silly, if
Yeah,
that
and
makes
it's a
sense.
lot of work with when you have both sides trying to manipulate each other too.
Yeah, it's a double lie. And I mean, the fashion's iconic. I mean, that dress. Megan was telling me that after that movie came out, like everyone was wearing that dress for homecoming and proms. Like you read about her dress in that movie, like it's iconic. The yellow dress. So it's a good
We're
pick.
learning a lot about fashion from rom-com episodes, Harry Met Sally.
No, dude, like Julia Roberts, that brown polka dot dress that's still being worn today.
Really?
Yeah, like you also know when a rom com is good when the fashion explodes, and we've mentioned 3 where the fashion has exploded.
Got it. I think my third would be Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Funny, funny,
Good, yeah.
great supporting cast. I mean, I laughed my ass off in that movie. Like, it's great.
You get on that storage container and like oh man, yeah, that's just a fun. That Aquafina is just hilarious, and Henry Golding's great. Like, yeah, no, and Michelle Yeoh, you can't get any better than that. It's a great movie.
So I think that one, and you get different scenery too. You get cities, U.S.,
Yeah, gorgeous like scenery.
beach. Yeah, you get all over the place.
I want to sit on that beach that Henry Golding was on, or like that little platform. Remember when him and his buddy are just sitting there drinking beers on that platform and probably
Oh,
like the most gorgeous place on earth?
that's great. I think the fourth is Groundhog Day, a romantic comedy.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess it revolves around a relationship
yeah. It's definitely a rom com.
and it's funny.
Yeah, man, what an
And he's
iconic
trying to
movie.
manipulate her in it the whole time.
I mean, it's brutal, but like Andy McDowell, she's like a first ballot Hall of Famer rom commer.
She's been doing them since the 80s.
I mean, she's in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, which was nominated for Best Picture.
Well, that was also one of the most famous rom-coms too, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's so good, man. It's like Richard Curtis did like About Time, Bridget Jones' Diary, Love Actually. Like he's probably modern day like #1 director writer.
So Groundhog Day, I mean, we don't need to get into that one. Everyone has seen it, but I like it because it's not obviously a rom-com. Why do people not think of Groundhog Day as a rom-com?
Because I mean, I think you think more about the Bill Murray shenanigans. Like, hey, Phil, like you don't. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
because he spends a lot of
Robbing
time
a
just like
bank and
killing himself and going on joy rides and
seeing
eating a
that
lot.
the groundhog every day.
Yeah,
They-
and the same song. I think the repetitive nature of it. You think about that more so than the romance, but it's a rom com.
and I would pick it to commiserate if I'm on a desert island
Yeah,
doing the same thing every day. I'm
yeah.
gonna watch Groundhog Day. And for my last one, I need some John Cusack, but I couldn't decide between Serendipity and One Crazy Summer.
Oh, those are both good. I mean, we did an episode about Serendipity, Niall and I. That's a very rewatchable movie.
But they're not on screen a lot together.
Yeah, that's true.
So
They're just
I
looking
think
for each other and being terrible to their significant others.
so. I liked it, but I think that one would get old. So I think One Crazy Summer because of Bobcat Goldthwait, Demi Moore.
Oh man, and the
Just
hoops and Godzilla fights. That's just it's funny. I picked 2 Cusack movies. I went with
nice.
Grosse Pointe Blank and Better Off Dead. I just like his vibe, and I think Grosse Pointe Blank's probably my favorite rom com because there's murder in it and there's hallway fights and Minnie Driver's just on fire in that movie.
She was sassy.
Yeah, no, she's awesome. Like, and then I did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but then I also did. We talked about it on a podcast, Eric. I did My Best Friend's Wedding
Mhm.
because like Julia Roberts in that, and like Cameron Diaz in that movie. But I think Julia Roberts gives one of the greatest rom com performances ever in My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh, you were rooting for her so hard, even though she was being a terrible human being.
But she's
And it was
so
so
good.
rich too. There's so much packed into that movie.
So good. And then I picked Amelie, uh, made like 150 million worldwide. One of the most gorgeous looking French films you'll ever see. Was nominated for Best International Foreign Film. It's one of the only rom-coms to have like over a 7 IMDb score, over a 4 Letterbox, and over a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's just like it's just an all-timer gorgeous looking rom-com, like full of whimsy and everyone's nice.
Mhm.
So I picked that because a lot of my movies I didn't go to, like, I think Forgetting Sarah Marshall is probably my most depressing one. Like because that one goes pretty hard at moments. So
Yeah,
it's
he's moping around pretty hard in a
like,
lot of parts.
yeah, when you're on an island, you don't want to. We're gonna be watching him mope a lot. That's why I brought like Better Off Dead to have like $2 and some silliness in there. But yeah,
So, what was your big takeaway from watching or revisiting this movie after all these years?
like honestly, I think the narrative is unimportant. It's a collection of scenes, but you got to learn. Like, here's the thing: like a lot of people need to realize that great food, to like make great food, it's the same like base ingredients, right? It's like make cake, like a general cake. We're talking like, we're not talking about a general cake. So I know there's great vegan cakes, there's like gluten free. Like let's just talk a chocolate cake. To like make a great chocolate cake, there's going to be the same ingredients in it for the most part. Like 90% of them are the same ingredients. So like the proposal has all of those 90% of ingredients. Like it, but it doesn't care because it knows that the chocolate cake will taste great when you just mix it right and you have good actors. And and it made 300 million because of that. So I think, when a lot of people are like, "Oh, it didn't change the world or it won't win an Oscar," but this movie is proof that like you can stick within a genre, but you offer enough difference and like casting Bullock being the older love interest with Ryan Reynolds, that never happens, man. Like I'm looking at the top 200 grossing films, and there's maybe like 10 of them that
Mhm.
where the actress is older than the actor. So it's like same ingredients. They're lying. They go to their family. They're really rich. There's some lies going on. There's an airplane. Like they run to each other. There's the big speech. There's the ex girlfriend. But they did it well, and it made a ton of money. So I guess what for me it's like, just respect the genre, and I think they respected the genre, and that's why it made so much money. Does that, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just like I don't know, like yeah. I watch a lot of soccer games. I know it's going to be played, but I appreciate a good one. Like I watched UFC 300 the other night. Everyone gets locked in a cage and they fight in the octagon. They fight each other, but this was one of the greatest cards of all time. But people are still doing the same things. Like you could watch 300 of them, and there's going to be better ones, there's going to be worse ones, but they all feature the same cards, different fighters, like the same formula. And so it's just the same with anything. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the proposal because of that. What
Roger
about you?
Ebert compared it to a train. It's like you see the train coming, you know what the train is carrying, you know it's coming right at you, but you don't duck away because it's so cheerfully done. You don't mind getting hit by it. That was his analogy.
And he gave it 3 stars. That's good for Ebert for a movie like this.
Yeah, I mean, it only had what 40%, 45% critic score on
Yeah,
Rotten Tomatoes, which was
that's what
surprising.
that's what blows my mind. Like it's really, I don't want to talk about. I don't want to get into
It's
it.
cool.
I've read so many reviews, Eric, and like I don't know what critics are on sometimes. It's like they follow this trend or they're just lazy, or I don't know how you watch this movie and just be like, this sucks. You're like, no, you looking at it as a rom com, of a very specific kind of rom com. It's a very good type of rom com.
Yeah, it's like they lost the joy of the experience. I guess that's probably the
Yeah,
best way I could describe it. So what do you think are what's the future of rom-coms? Are they doomed to streaming services and churn them out like Miles Teller did like 4 or 5 of them within a couple of years? But do you see them lingering on streaming services like these new ones coming out for low budget, or do you see someday maybe the stars returning back to this formula?
well, what's kind of crazy is, like China has a huge rom com market. South Korea has a huge rom com market. India, there's a lot of romantic fantasy comedies, musicals. I think that Anyone But You did 216 million. The one with
Mhm.
Julia Roberts did 168 million. I think Netflix, Amazon Prime has actually done a really good job with rom-coms. But yeah, I don't see the day, like, but see, we don't have celebrities like we used to have.
It's
Like,
true too.
remember like the heater that Julia Roberts was on, an all-time heater. Like Sandra Bullock was on an all-timer run. Like when Will Smith made Hit, she was on an all-timer run.
Mhm.
When Tom Cruise made Jerry Maguire, all-timer run. Cameron Diaz was knocking him out the park. Meg Ryan was knocking him out the park. Like, you went to rom-coms for Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. We don't have that anymore. So, you know, I think the best hope for rom-coms is like more Anyone But You's. Now, I don't think it was that great of a movie, but it featured all the tropes, leaned into them, they respected them,
Likable characters.
likable characters, and so I think that's where it's going to be. Like, I think the younger generation, but here's the thing, like, 90s are blowing up right now. Everyone loves the 90s, the 2000s, and I think a lot of people watch those movies and love them. And a
Friends
lot
is
of
coming
people,
back.
a lot
Friends
of
is going
people,
strong. Yeah.
like, a lot of people who grew up with those movies are going to be making movies. Like, so, like, how we had all the filmmakers that were like, I love De Niro, I love Pacino, like, yeah, man, like, I love the 70s. Like, I grew up watching the awesome movies of the 70s. And it was a great run. But I think people now grew up in the 2000s who are going to be making films, right? Kids who are 15 watching those rom-coms are now 35. And yeah, they're going to be making films based on their love of those specific rom-coms. So and also, but you know, there are some good Christmas rom-coms. There's some good Netflix like Set It Up.
Mhm.
That's really good.
That was
Always
Glenn
Be My
Powell too,
Maybe.
right?
What's up? Yeah, Netflix. Oh yeah, Glenn Powell too. Yeah, Zoe Deutsch. So I think it's still a strong market, but I don't think we have the names anymore to like lead it to like a $500 million opening.
Yeah. To close out this episode, who would you cast in your rom com of choosing? You could
Okay.
pick main characters plus supporting.
Okay, so who would I cast? So all right, so I'm gonna take out Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. um Let me look at the 2023 box office. Let me pull up the numbers for this top grossing movies.
I mean, if you want to go big, you got to get someone like Zendaya or something.
Yeah, yeah, and like a classic. Okay, Zendaya.
I mean, if you want to go big
Okay,
numbers.
then I'll put Zoe Saldana in it too, because she's in like Avatar and Guardians and Avengers, and all she does is make money. So I'll put her in there. I'll put Zendaya in there, and
Mhm.
then let's see, man, Gosling's probably too old because he's going to be in the Fall Guy. That's going to do really well. Man, who's big right now? Who's someone in their 20s that's just
In
Timothy
20s.
Chalamet.
Yeah, oh, you're right. Or Spider-Man,
Uh,
Tom.
Tom Holland. Yeah, put them in it, but make it like You Got Mail with Zendaya and Tom Holland. Whoa.
And they're already dating, right?
Yeah. Like, just do that.
That would
That's
make
the movie.
money. It would make a lot of money.
Yeah, right? Like, but make it good. Like, respect it. And then people will come.
They go from Dune to a rom.
But dude, like, just look at Barbie, man. Like, people wanted to go see
Yeah.
this PG-13 movie. Like, people want that.
Well, Margot Robbie, if you want to go big on a rom com.
Yeah, man. So if I had Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling in a Sleepless in Seattle remake or something, because Margot Robbie loves rom-coms, put them in it. Done.
Okay. It's proven duo. They've got chemistry. They've worked together.
Just make it. Back in the day, you had like the old school like screwball comedies because they were so. There was a lot of Hays Code, so they had to use like the Hays Code prevented pretty much anything: flirting, sex, sleeping in the same bed, showing toilets. So they had to like come up with a really snappy dialogue and like Cary Grant just like dropping lines on people. It's like make an old school cool one with them where they're just two very smart reporters against each other with great dialogue, and then they have to go on an assignment or some crap, and then they fall in love. It's like every Hallmark movie, but it would make bank.
And it's smart. You got
Yeah.
smart people, interesting subject matter. All right.
Who would you want
Well
to
done.
see?
I don't know. I don't know. You're way better at this than me. You know, more actors.
I will say Jennifer Lawrence, she'd be strong. She was just not no hard feelings, and she did not give two F's in that movie. So I don't know if
She was
that's a
so
rom.
good. She had fun. That's another example of having fun in a movie.
Yeah, like, that movie made a lot of money because, like, I know it had that one scene that everyone talks about, but I also think she's just really good in it, and she's funny. Like, there's that Laird scene. She's like, "Yeah, what's your name, Laird? Oh, like the lasagna. No, no, like Laird. Like, just the most random dialogue ever."
Yeah, and she's like Bullock in the sense that she's okay being like, Bullock in the high heels in Alaska, stumbling around.
Yeah,
Like they're not afraid to be self-deprecating, which is you need that in a rom-com.
she was such an idiot, no hard feelings, but she's perfect in it.
Such a
Man,
dumbass.
yeah, I know, right? But she's great though. Like, it's like the Laird bit is one of the funniest things I've heard in a long time. So, like, also there's another really good rom com called Rye Lane that came out last year.
What
That
is
got
it
all
called?
it's called Rye Lane and it's on Hulu. And it's a really wonderful rom com, well written, the two likable leads. That one did really well. So it's the rom com genre is alive, man. It's just we don't have, I just don't. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Jennifer Lawrence carried this movie to 83 million. So that's a pretty big box office.
She was the
For
only recognizable star in it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I remember some other people in the movie, but she was the big name.
yeah, that was it. Like, it had Matthew Broderick, but he was a side character. So I mean,
Right.
it was $45 million to make. It made 83. It was number one on Netflix. Like, it made a ton of money.
It's gonna live on Netflix for a while too, because it's
Yeah,
easy to watch.
it's funny. This was good, man. Thank you. I know we got deep, and I was talking about like Sandra Bullock's in the workforce and everything, but
Oh, I know we were talking about dynamics and research and like the psychology between falling in love with someone at work. I mean, it's some pretty deep stuff for a rom-com.
you know what though? You know, I've learned when you talk about movies, the best movies to talk about are not the ones that are just like it's good. Like, have you ever talked about a movie and you're just, yeah, like, what'd you think about that movie? It was good. Oh,
Well, if I remember it, I like it.
yeah. Like,
That's
there's
where
just
I'm at.
I've had trouble on the podcast sometimes because we talk about movies and I'm like, yeah, it's good. Like, I don't really have much to say. So, like, this one, what the worst is to talk about? Like, movies that made a decent amount of money and are generally liked, like they have 70% scores. It's like the critics didn't hate it, audiences like it, and it made money. So you can't just be like, yeah, it should have been more popular. Well, it made good money. Or like this one's rotten, but it made 300 million. Like, that makes for an interesting conversation. So it's hard. The hardest movies to talk about are the ones that are just generally pretty liked.
Yeah, did it make money?
Yeah, yeah. But like, it's not like a universal classic, but everyone's like just bonded together and went, yeah, it's pretty good. Those are hard to talk about.
Yeah,
But
I enjoyed this one. Thanks for revisiting this classic with me.
yeah, man. And I kind of want to talk Forgetting Sarah Marshall with you sometime too, because I think that could be interesting. Well, no, but I don't know. We'll talk. We'll talk. But
All right.
Erik, man, thank you for joining me.
All right, man. That was a blast. See ya.
All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Erik Hoffmeyer, this is Movies and Flicks. We'll see you next week.